Okay, let's start. Sorry again for the delay. So my name is Adrien Stuzicki. I'm the consultant for the pre-sales part for the former known as enterprise management, now called agile operations. I'm going to present you how to leverage the cloud and make sure that you're not losing sight when you are migrating to the cloud. I'd like first to thank my colleague Andrzej Bolszik, who prepared this session, and then decided that my accent in English was funnier than his, and handed me out the presentation. So just to tell you about the next webcast we're going to hold. The next one will be on the 26th of April and will be about log analytics, which is a brand new state-of-the-art feature of CA Unified Infrastructure Management. And then on the 3rd of May 2017, we will show you how to harness the power of business intelligence, creating dashboard and better visualization. So let's get to the nitty-gritty. You know that the cloud is here, and in today's application-driven economy, it's the preferred platform to engage customers and conduct business at scale. A lot of different companies are moving slowly to the cloud in order, well, to cut costs, to have better management of different resources. But the problem is a lot of these companies are using multiple monitoring tools to manage these different technologies on premises, private cloud it could be, or in the public cloud, where the first name that comes to our heads is of course AWS. And well, it's raising the cost of migrating to the cloud, and it's raising as well uncertainty, because when there's an issue, well, we don't really know where it's coming from. And according to a survey we carried out, only 15% of enterprises have adopted already a mature hybrid cloud strategy. So what are the expectations when moving to the cloud? First, ensure a superior customer experience. So make sure that your services are accessible from any point of the world and are running fast. And for that, you need to be sure that you're not losing sight of what is going on in the cloud, and you can have a unified view of the different services and of the layer of infrastructure beneath. As well, optimize the operational efficiency, because we don't want to add up teams and teams and teams. We want to make sure that either teams are able to collaborate and to look at the same screen to accomplish an optimal IT efficiency, an optimal operational efficiency, or that we're having a single team with maybe specialists for the cloud, specialists for on-premises, but that a specialist for the cloud is going to be able, with the same tool, to troubleshoot anything happening on-premises and vice versa. And other thing, we need a tool that is flexible and can rapidly support new applications and channels, a tool that can adapt to the market, and a tool as well that you can twist to your need, and you can make your own by developing, for instance, some private technologies, some customized probe for instance, for some private cloud that you're having. And that's the rub in today's economy. People have monitoring tool for either, for instance, it could be for the network, for the switches, for the routers, it could be as well a different monitoring tool for the private cloud, the dynamic cloud, the public cloud, and SaaS. And learning, configuring, and managing these numerous tools is of course costly, and you end up with a piecemeal visibility with limited capacities. So what it means that, for instance, you're going to have an issue with one of the services, and instead of seeing the different layers of the infrastructure in a unified view, you're going to have to check one tool to check the cloud. You're going to have to check a second tool to check, for instance, the data center, and you're going to have to check a third tool to check the network efficiency and the network speed. What what do we end up with? We end up with cloud migration delays and having no visibility on the migration. I was talking to a Spanish university, of course I won't disclose the name, and they were telling me, yeah, we just moved to the cloud and we are very happy with it, and no, we don't need any monitoring tool because we already have one. Yeah, but your monitoring tool, can it deploy to the cloud? Can you, if there's a fire in the cloud, how are you going to be able to understand this extra layer and to be able to find the root cause of the issue? And while the conversation went blank for 30 seconds because they told me we have no visibility, that's true, and we need, and you're right, if there's a fire, we're going to be blind and we need something. We need to be more proactive and to adapt faster. So you end up with, I was talking about the app portfolio, but it's going to be with app running either entirely on the public cloud or using only cloud or using only on-premises or using the private cloud or using all the layers at once. And well, with this slew of new applications, you need to understand how the applications are relied to the infrastructure. And that's the issue with many monitoring tools. First, they don't have the 360 degrees visibility that you need to accomplish a maximum return on investment and have a tool that is going to enable your business, or you're going to have some tools that are only showing some metric, some infrastructure metrics. So complexity and hybrid apps, and you need to understand the interdependencies and the migration. So one more time, why? Because with so many technologies, we are not in the 80s anymore, where you had like only one internal network and there was no internet outside. Now we're living in complex infrastructure with intranet, with internet, with some SaaS offering, some cloud offering. Well, the number of technologies is just stacking up and stacking up and stacking up. And finding this way, the root cause when you're having a fire can be very cumbersome if you're using a piecemeal approach. And you know how it ends up. You're having one team responsible for this and that, and you end up like pointing fingers and accusing each other of doing the wrong thing. So we have added comprehensive capacity, comprehensive coverage for the cloud technologies to be able to have a complete understanding of either technologies that is still on site, that is still physical. For instance, on the left, you can see the server, the storage, and the databases, and as well having a tool that is able to monitor the cloud. And we released some new probes for AWS, for Azure, Nutanix, OpenStack, Pure Storage, and in a word, the different state-of-the-art and breaking through technologies that are coming to the market. It's called UIM, Unified Infrastructure Management, and it's bringing capabilities that are going across, across the board. Capacities as well with either the network, either application monitoring, or the infrastructure monitoring, and able to monitor as well the databases and the storage, and for instance, the electricity consumption in the data center, and the cloud, and the application layer. How do we achieve that? First, we need to have a tool that is understandable and readable even for not very experienced users. So we're providing a single pane of glass with proactive and actionable insights that are going to be the same across cloud and hybrid IT. What it means exactly is we have actionable dashboard that I will show you a bit later on, and you're going to be able to consolidate in a single dashboard information from the different technologies you're using in your environment. We are as well leveraging standardized and elastic monitoring configuration. What it means it means that the probes, for instance, I'm taking the example of the AWS, the Amazon Web Services probe, that is gonna discover through CloudWatch the different instances that you are running in the AWS cloud. And this pre-configured probes can of course be reconfigured according to your needs, but more important, you can create some templates and then release them, then deploy them, sorry, would be a better word, across your infrastructure with a simple drag and drop process. We get out-of-the-box support for over 140 cloud and on-premise technologies, and we are expanding all the time our capacities because, well, UIM is from CA Technologies. CA Technologies is the biggest independent software editor in the world. So we get a huge client base, we get communities, and we get some support, and we are making sure that we are fulfilling the needs and the desire of our customer to be sure that they can enable their business. And they don't have only, you know, one very efficient IT tool that can't prove anything for the business. We need to make sure that IT is at the center of your business, and that all the different departments can collaborate better to enable the business and improve the operational efficiency. Because nowadays, IT is not anymore a separate department at the rear of the cabin, you know, at the back of the cabin. It's central in the today's economy. Other thing, so UIM is a proprietary software, of course, but it's got a flexible architecture. We provide APIs, we provide SDKs as well, and this way you can develop your own probe, and you can integrate probes if you are migrating from one tool to the other, from a competition to CA UIM. You can integrate your monitoring configuration, your scripts inside UIM through SDKs. So, in a word, having a tool that is gonna be able to monitor about everything in your infrastructure. To go back to the center of this presentation, I was talking about the cloud capacities. So the cloud capacities development has been about releasing last year the Amazon Web Services probe and the Rackspace, OpenStack, and Nutanix, and Docker and Pure Storage, sorry, and expanding the capacities of our Microsoft Azure and VMware probes. What is interesting, I think, with, for instance, with the AWS probe, is with CloudWatch, you can only store 2 weeks of data. With UIM, you can leverage the database and get a bigger history of your the evolution of your Amazon Web Services capacities, and as well of your Amazon Web Services costs, because that's one of the interesting things with the AWS probe. It can track the billing information to estimate the cost of your services in the cloud, in order not to have like a bad surprise at the end of the month. So, as well, for another trendy cloud service, I'm talking of course about Nutanix, being able as well to track the number of cluster, of hosts, of virtual machine that you're using. And the same goes for Docker, which Docker is more microservices, and understanding the environment, the processes and services running in them, and as well how the different components are like collaborating and are running together, how they are articulated, in a word. And that's one of the things that is really interesting with UIM, is instead of having like one metric for I don't know, for the different instances in the cloud, another metric for the different virtual machine or the different operating system or the different databases in the cloud, you can tie up the metrics and get a general understanding of what is going on inside your cloud environment. Okay, just a second. I'm going to take a sip of water. My mouth is running dry. Okay, and now it's time to go through a quick demo. So just a second that I bring up my environment. So this is one of the unified dashboards UIM is offering. These dashboards actually are coming from a JasperSoft collaboration. So JasperSoft is a reporting company. I guess you already heard of it. And this dashboard are actually one of the new features of the last releases of UIM, and a proof of our constant, our constant desire to improve the solution. Now, I think UIM is something like the 22nd CA product to leverage the JasperSoft dashboard capacities. Why are we doing that? Because this way you can streamline your dashboard administration. We got customers who are using 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 CA products, and this way we can have only one subject matter expert that is going to be able to create very fast dashboards, even for if he's not if he's used to I don't know, use release automation or PPM and is not familiar with the UIM solution. So in this dashboard, you're going to get some important information about the number of instances you are using and the average network activity, so you can understand this way. Of course, it's really flexible. You can hide data, add data, and you can understand this way if one of your instances is running. We're talking about EC2 instancing, the Elastic Cloud, is using much more network or much more CPU utilization, and having some count by CPU utilization depending on the number of EC2 instances you have. So the AWS is offering some other dashboards to understand how your capacities are going. And before I forget to say it, these dashboards are actually coming, they are out of the box. It means that once your probe is running, it's going to populate the dashboard automatically. For instance, here you could have an ID of the number of EC2 table because AWS, as you may know, is built by EC2 instances. So this way you can understand how many EC2 instances you are using and get some historical data about the evolution of the number of EC2 instances and the evolution of your AWS utilization. I'm going to show you as well, I think what I'm going to show you, Nutanix, yeah, Nutanix, for instance, the average performance of cluster. Okay. It's going to load a bit. Sometimes it's a bit slow in this environment because the servers are located in the United States. The information needs to cross the ocean. This is another dashboard. So here you can see that we have only one instance of Nutanix. It's just a demo environment. But you can understand at a glance what is the CPU utilization, the memory, the output per second, and the bandwidth utilization of your inputs and outputs. And of course, this is coming from probe, so it can generate different alarms and notify you if something is going awry in your environment. I'm going to show you as well another capacity of UIM is the capacity to monitor the different instances that you have, either in the private cloud, in the internal system or the AWS, and to tie up the data to understand at a glance what is going on, and having like a 360 visibility inside your environment. The other thing what is interesting with AWS capacities in UIM is the possibility to watch your cloud migration and understand how your let's say your newly migrated services to the cloud are impacting maybe your SLAs or are impacting your performance. So in this simple dashboard, you can see at a glance the performance of on-premises, newly migrated, and production cloud. And maybe here you get a availability rate that is a bit lower. You would like to investigate, but at the same time, when it's installed since 4 days, it seems that actually the availability rate is higher than on-premises. But you understand the flow. So having quick information that are humanly readable and that are even readable by technicians that are pretty new to the company and not very experienced with unified infrastructure management and with infrastructure management and monitoring in general. Okay, so let's go on. Just a second. So I was telling you about this capacity to have a single view. This way, of course, you can boost resolution and staff productivity, because if you have an alarm, it's going to be isolated to a component, and it's going to be isolated to, let's say, a layer, either internal, private, or public cloud. And this way, you can rapidly manage all your monitoring configuration and be sure that you can track the performance on-premise and like in the public cloud, but as well during the migration, and understand how the newly services migrated to the cloud are running right away. And this way, of course, having a holistic understanding of the user experience across the cloud and on-premise infrastructures. Because one more time, the infrastructure is worth monitoring because it's supporting application, and so at the end of the line, it's about your user experience and your reputation on the market. Migration, I was telling you about that. So again, make sure that your cloud SLAs are consistent when on-premise, and be able, of course, to proactively run remediation and test to confirm the success. And this way, having a better maybe capacity and like workforce utilization, because if you see that in the on-premises, for instance, everything is fine, but on the cloud there's a bit more problems, you can quickly understand when you're a manager that you need your team to focus on the cloud. And other benefits, so historical data to better plan for capacity and budgetary needs, and being able to correlate various cloud and on-premises metrics for root cause and identification. Because I showed you one dashboard for Nutanix, one dashboard for AWS, but you could imagine as well creating a holistic, consolidated dashboard with information from both the cloud system. And of course, getting the predictive alerts on performance and budget threshold, because UIM is offering like a predictive analysis, mathematic model out of the box called time to threshold. And if you're setting up a baseline with a time to threshold, it's going to calculate the evolution of the resources consumption and generate an alarm before it gets to the actual baseline, to the actual threshold, sorry. A few examples of what our customers were able to achieve. First, Telefonica. We are long-term collaborators with Telefonica, and they put us at the heart of their cloud strategy. They were able to optimize your resources with Amazon Web Services and OpenStack, and of course, benefiting from a very long experience on the market from CA Technologies and from our different services, either the services that I'm taking care of the integration, the support, the customer success team, well, a very big company with important resources, but a company that is agile and is going to invest heavily in the software development to keep the technology up to date and to keep the technology to follow the speed of the market, because the technology is mutating very fast. As well, KPN, so yeah, the same about monitoring a very diverse IT infrastructure and being able to predict the future capacity needs. And the last one is Serious, that is, I think, a managed service provider. And we are saying, well, what the trend what we are seeing in the industry, more and more are using cloud platforms, and we need to have a tool that can follow up and be able to monitor the different platforms, the different technologies. So for the next step, of course, if you want to leave me your contact, if you want to send a message in the chat, feel free as well to reach out of us, either EM Digital Pre-Sales EMEA@ca.com, or you can reach out of me at my first name dot my last name @ca.com. Actually, I'm going to send that to the chat. And if you want to join our next session, you can do so at the following address that I'm going to send you in the chat. And right now, if you want to ask any question, either in the chat or using your voice, you can, of course, unmute you and send me anything you have in mind. All right, it seems there are no questions, so thank you very much for joining. Or maybe my colleague is telling me that he's having a question. No, okay, if it seems that everything is fine. So one more time, thank you for joining. See you at the next session. Don't hesitate to go on our website, ca.com, to get information about our different products, because we are present across the board in the market, security, some PPM capacities. We're having as well as everything for DevOps, release automation, service virtualization, and of course my specialty, agile operations, either network, application performance monitoring, or infrastructure monitoring. So feel free to reach out to us. Thank you very much for your participation, and enjoy the rest of the day. Bye-bye.